my recorded voice is awful.
Oh, I know. I've listened to mine. Jesus.
Right, I'm Alan Winder. I'm 60 years old. I work for SGN Gas Networks, which I've done for over 30 years now. And this is my father.
And I'm John Winder, 86 years old, still cracking on.
Dad tends to do a dirt angel, not a snow angel.
I joined in here a few years back now, just after I'd retired, which was a while back now, isn't it?
Yeah.
20 years ago or so that I retired.
My father used to have a vegetable plot at home, and when I ventured out into the big wide world and made my own way in life, I didn't have a garden, and I had dogs that I used to walk down here around the river area, and there was an Irishman that had a couple of little Jack Russells, and I got to know him, and he had this plot and this plot, and when this one next door became vacant, he said, why don't I give it a go? So I decided to try my hand, and I've been here ever since.
That one, the other one.
I tried to get down here, and now we're starting to get the light in the evenings. We spend an hour or so, 3 or 4 times a week,
Yep.
if we can, if I finish work early enough.
I usually come down in the week, spend a couple of hours at the most here, and that's about it. Yeah, keep it tidy and get some planting done and avoid the too heavy work.
That's my job.
I can squat down and all the rest of it, and I can plant these kind of things without too
Once
much
it's all
trouble.
planted, it's then the upkeep, of which my father does tenfold to what I do, because he comes down during the daytime. We've had a few comments, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, they tend to look at the old allotment and say, oh, that looks nice and tidy, and all the rest of it. So yeah, you get a few comments.
How do you manage to make it look so nice? Hard work.
Ever since I helped my father on an allotment just over there years ago, I've always been involved in growing my own veg and that kind of thing, and then I've had a garden at home with growing veg at home, and this was just a natural sort of carry on from all that.
And we do have a largish family, so we supply them with vegetables.
Yeah, all the family turn up for free potatoes and onions and beetroots and carrots and spring onions and all that kind of stuff. It gets me out of the house and it gets me exercised and that kind of thing. I get rid of a bit of this, like, you know, and bending over and doing all that kind of thing helps in all that direction. So, you know, and I fall over occasionally. do a nosedive into the potatoes and all that kind of thing, like, you know, but I managed to stand up again and carry on.
Having a teenage boy at home, to come down here is just lovely. Making sure we put them up the right way.
Yeah.
I get self-satisfaction at the end of the season when we start cropping our crops and getting decent organic veg, basically.
Get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing it when it's all growing and looking nice and everything's nice and tidy, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of satisfaction involved. There's quite a bit of social, there's quite a lot of social games going on. You know, the groups that gather down the bottom there for their cups of tea, and you know, yeah, it's fine. We make our own, of course. We do our own thing, sort of thing, like, you know. But put the kettle on every now and again.
At one stage, I said to my father, I didn't know whether or not we were allowed to come down on the first lockdown last March, but you rang the council,
Yeah, I spoke
and
to the council.
they actively encouraged us to come down, and it's been a godsend. It has been a godsend. Well, if the old manor was still up, I'd probably be in there with a jacket with straps on it. Yeah, because otherwise it's just all work and no leisure time. And this is relaxing coming down. Although it's hard work, it's still relaxing. Like the wildlife around here as well is second to none. We have wrens that nest in the shed most years, don't we?
Yeah.
And there's a robin,
The
or there's a
friendly robin is
few
always
robins
here.
that come round and sit on the handles of the shovels and the forks and that. And they're very
You
brazen.
Put your fork away, he's
Yeah,
there sitting on
yeah.
the top of it, like, you know. There's a lot
There's
of
a few
youngsters
new
seem to be
faces.
taking it up these days. You know, I see quite a few young couples coming in. There's a couple now moved in down here, two sets of youngsters down there. I've seen youngsters going up there. Quite a number of young kids coming in and into the allotment game. Whether they're interested in fresh veg and all that kind of thing, I don't know. Maybe they're all going vegan or something, you know.
I think probably, maybe a lot of it is like new housing these days. You don't get a garden, do you? And if you are interested in doing this sort of thing, then it's the ideal place to come, is to come here, rent a piece of land and have a go at it. Apparently there's 60 plus plots empty down here and they've got a waiting list, so hopefully they'll fill them up and keep it going, because at one stage they were on about disbanding all this lot.
I'd like to join your association because I live around the corner. I've just grown vegetables in my garden.
Okay,
I don't have an
fine.
allotment, but I'd like to join.
There is an allotment association that run that little shop down at the bottom there, and a lot of people are involved in the association, both as, you know, volunteers and just using it. Like, you know, people are starting to get cabin fever. You know, this is the place to come and, you know, just crack on and do something.